There's a side of art that we rarely hear anyone talk about or draw attention to, which is that when you're doing art or when you're engaging in any artistic process, it can be also like making a craft or making something with your hand, whatever it is. If you're engaging in a long process of creating something out of your own mind, it's also teaching you how to be much more intellectually patient. It's giving you this opportunity to train your focus, and you just completely transform the way your mind behaves. You become much more attentive to details. You get to feel the joy of being in a flow state for a long while, because it's really hard to get into flow state if it's for something that's not art. And if you're doing art, then it means that your chance of getting into the flow state when you're doing other things, maybe you're studying or you're working on a project, it's gonna become so much easier for you to now slide into that flow state just because you've done it before and your brain is already used to it. And if you've ever spent like 10 hours on drawing before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Your brain just perceives the world differently after you come out of that prolonged period of creating something by yourself. And that says a lot about the power of art on your brain and on your mind in general, because your mind is where the focus is coming from, right? Whatever you do is going to become a habit, which is going to affect the neurology of your brain. And so what I am trying to tell you here is that if you are struggling to focus on any task, on any given task, it might be something that you want to do for school or writing an essay, whatever you do, please make sure that you also carve out a little bit of time to focus on this side of brain, which is like being in a flow state. And the easiest way you can make sure that you're in the flow state is to enjoy doing a certain activity. It can be just drawing, it can be something artistic just like knitting. I don't know, not it can be anything artistic, like making a craft or just making something out of your own mind. That's the main point of this whole exercise. And so, even more than just being able to focus so much better as a consequence of it, it's also gonna help you become attentive to details, which is gonna help you pick up on so much more than you can possibly imagine yourself be able to pick up on. Because we human beings, we see the general thing, we don't really get into the nitty-gritty of it. But then when you go and do something like this for a long period of time, you're probably just gonna turn it into a habit to pick up on the smallest detail that there is. And this itself is going to help you, learn so much better, because now you know what to pay attention to. And another impact that art has, I think, is to expand your memory as well. I don't know how this one fits into the whole mechanism of creation and creating something out of your own mind. I think it's mostly because you're expanding your ability to focus, and that helps you with memory a lot. And also it might tie back to what I just mentioned, which is you being much more perceptive of the minutia, of the smallest details that there is, which is going to anchor those memories. And you're going to be able to remember the scenes or the words or whatever you want to remember faster, because now you have that visual focus as well. In the past, you might not have had so much attention to what you're seeing or what you have in front of you. For example, when you're reading something. And when you train your focus to be concentrated on the visual faculties, it probably is going to develop a sort of memory in and of itself. I mean, the space is gonna just open up in your head, and you can just possibly understand where I'm coming from, right? I mean, the logic is logicking here. So let's just go with that. And there's probably much more benefit to come when you're locking in for numerous hours and you are not even aware of yourself in those hours because you're entirely engrossed in the activity. I mean, that just says a lot about how strong the activity itself is and how much of it is because it's, enhancing your focus. So if you're an artist, you have to be super proud of yourself and what you're doing, because it's helping you in so many ways. And it's like, whoa, that's the luckiest job anyone can ever have. It's like the most relaxing, but I know there's like a huge kind of worms when it comes to the business side of it, and it just like sucks all the enjoyment out of it. But in general, like doing art in and of itself is like such a beneficial task in my opinion. So that was it. I hope that you enjoyed, and I'll talk to you next time.